Welcome to our presentation on the E3 accounting working papers. I'll now go and show you how the E3 system works by entering the setup data and going through 5 of the working papers. So within the setup data, we've entered in the light blue cells, in this case for you, the Chester Hill Accountants, and that'll flow right across all the working papers. And then we're going to pick a company name. So in this case we've just selected Semat Plumbing, and that's going to also flow throughout the working papers. And to speed things up, we've also entered the ABN, and in here we select the type of entity, which is important because it does affect how the working papers are set up. In this case it's a company, and we've also pre-formatted for us today the ACN and the directors and the meeting dates through there. So that information all flows. Once it's all done through there, we can then go to the top, and where it says has client setup data been completed, we can just on the drop down box tick yes, and then that'll finish that. When we go across to the accounting preparation process worksheet, that'll pick up as being done. So what we do now, we go into the opening balances, and we've done this also to speed it up, which is just showing what was the 30th of June balances from last year. That's all from the balance sheet. And then we've also got the additional data. This comes through from another working paper from last year, so we've just entered that data straight into it, and it picks up a lot of information regarding fringe benefits, amortization, and other matters which carry through. The BAS data here, we just go from each of the BAS statements, and this information's all been entered by our accounting support system. So the accountants don't actually do it, so it's all set up for them to go. So it's just a copy. In this case it's 4 BASs, all using the cash based accounting system. And the last one is we get the client information for the current year, and this we've also pre-filled this one for you. So that's the income and the various expenses, and that will flow right through the working papers. So getting into the actual working papers themselves, the first one's the income sheet, and you can see how it's all pre-filled across into it. And what this used for, we actually go through and compare what's been lodged with the tax office with the income, which is what's the client's recorded as income in the system. Now there's a $93 variation in here which isn't that material, so in this case we'd probably just do nothing. But if there was a large variation, then we've got a problem between what's been lodged with the tax office and what information the client's got. So that looks okay from us, so in that case we say it's good to go, so we'll keep pushing on. And the next one we'll look at today is the wages, and what we've got there is that's also come through from the BAS statements, and we enter the annual PAYG payment summary, and that tells us everything through there what's been lodged with the tax office, and we also compare that with the wage records which the client's got. In this case the client's been good, all the BAS information and all the PAYG annual notices are correct, and the wage records are correct as well, so that's no further to any reconciliations on that one. Next one's we'll look at is the fringe benefits. This is for an existing motor vehicle. You can see everything's been pre-filling across from what was set up originally, just on the 1st of July balances. And here, if the vehicle wasn't sold, there's nothing to enter in the blue fields, and here it's available to the employer's use all year, so there's no adjustments there. So we've got 2 methods to choose from. We've got the statutory method, so we'll say that on 31 March the total kilometres for that vehicle 51,244, so that tells us it's done that 25,000 kilometres, and the FBT rate there is 11%, so that's giving an FBT amount of 2518. We then look at the operating cost method, and that all pre-fills and calculates. We just have to add the fuel, repairs and registration, and that all the other calculations are made. And then we look at the business use, which we'll say in this case was 79%, so that gives a FBT of 2942. So we look at them, which gives us the lower one, which in this case actually comes out to be the statutory method, and that pre-filled to the journal down here, so that would be your FBT calculation for that vehicle. Next one we can look at is Division 7A, and here it is a post-97 loan, so the answer will be yes on that one. And actually, sorry, it's a no, it's not, so we've got to enter that one. The information here is pre-filled across from what was set up originally, so it's giving us the year balances. That then automatically calculates for us the required minimum yearly repayment and the interest which has got to be charged on that loan for the year, so that pre-fills up to the calculations in here. What we do need to look at is if there are any bona fide repayments made during the year, because that can influence the amount of interest which we paid. And we'll say in this year that there's a $10,000 bona fide repayment made in that year. The benefit of putting that information is it actually reduces the amount of the interest, and it also goes towards meeting the minimum annual repayment. So in this case here, there's no shortfall, so there's no requirement to make any Division 7A loans, dividends or wages. So that's Division 7A, and here you can also see that journal entry automatically calculates on that interest required for that year. The franking account worksheet, that one there, that pre-fills also from what was some initial starting information. The information lodged on each of the BASs will pre-fill into here. Last year's assessment notice all comes through from the starting information, and depending if there are any other adjustments, which we would note down there, in this case there's been none, so that franking account is already finished as well. So that's just an illustration of 5 of the 35 worksheets which this system consists of. So overall, I hope this has given you an idea how it all works. But in our practice, we've achieved around 20% increase in staff productivity, so it's certainly made us do the work a lot quicker. The staff have got a system of how it's all done, so it's made this practice a lot more efficient. So if you need more information, call our office on 0266 864 744, or you can go to our website at enright.com.au. So there we go, and thank you.